Live from the WTXL studios, this is ABC 27's News at Noon.
We begin this noon hour with new details of what could have happened to Florida State University professor Dan Markel.
Is it possible that some of his scholarship and literature created some enemies? I guess that's as possible as any of the other scenarios.
Good afternoon. I'm Kelly Bartoli. Greg has the day off. New details this morning about the mysterious murder of the FSU law professor. Many of his friends shocked that someone would hurt him, but new reports are suggesting that an assassin may have been waiting for Markel the day he was shot, possibly hiding out in his driveway, waiting for him to park his car. Once he made it into the garage, perhaps the hired shooter followed him and shot him in the head. Police say Markel was alive when police arrived. Keys in the ignition before he was pronounced dead at the hospital hours later. Friends can't imagine who would be behind such a crime.
I cannot imagine a person wanting to hurt him. I don't think any of his friends can.
Although a motive is not definite, there is some suspicion. Just 2 days before he died, Markel posted a blog to his website about the death penalty, the same website on which he received threatening comments back in 2012 after a writer alleged he had censored anonymous comments. Investigators are asking anyone who may have seen Markel in the following areas on Thursday, July 17th or Friday, July 18th to please call that tip line at 850-891-4462. The areas include the corridor of Interstate 10 and Thomasville Road, the area on Tharp Street and Mission Road, the surrounding area of the FSU Law School, or the area of the Congregation Shomri Torah Home located at 4858 Cary Forest Parkway. We have some breaking news to tell you about right now. We are just getting some details in that there is a gas leak west of Dare Street in Valdosta. It is between Toombs and Oak Street. We're just getting this information in just right now as it's happening here. It started about an hour ago, just after 11 a.m. Here it is 12:01 right now. So we're just continuing to get that information in. We do have firefighters on the scene, we know, so we will continue to bring you the very latest about that story as it becomes available. Again, a gas leak there in Valdosta. We'll get everything posted up on our website, WTXL.tv. Other news this noon hour, the officer who shot Dwayne Strong Jr. at Cheeks Lounge back in May is saying he feared for his life when he shot him. According to our media partners at the Tallahassee Democrat, that officer, Clay Fallis, says he had no choice but to fire his weapon into Strong's car. In this video recording on the Democrats' website, you can see the taped interviews that took place after the incident with police and other witnesses. Strong was killed after officers fired into his car several times and rammed the Dodge Charger. A Leon County grand jury ruled that the shooting was justified and found no wrongdoing by Fallis or Derek Hawthorne, another officer who also fired his weapon. The city of Tallahassee's race for Commission Seat 3 now has a greater focus on violence in the area. Tallahassee City Commissioner Nancy Miller says the city is moving in the right direction in addressing gun violence. But her opponent, Steve Stewart, told our media partners at the Tallahassee Democrat leaders haven't done enough to bring down crime. The issue of violence also front and center for Tallahassee Police Chief Michael DeLeo. He has now created a community policing squad on the south side and a violent crime response team, all in an effort to decrease violence in the capital city. The Leon County Sheriff's Office is mourning the loss of Major Alan Greiner, who died over the weekend after a 4-year battle with cancer. Fellow deputies say he was surrounded by his family at the time of his death. Major Greiner was the legal counsel with the Sheriff's Office. He provided legal advice to the sheriff and other employees on a variety of legal matters, including criminal, civil, and administrative law. Funeral arrangements have not yet been announced, and we will bring you those details as they become available on air and online at WTXL.tv. A 6-year-old is recovering in the hospital this noon hour after a construction accident at a Tallahassee apartment complex. Police say the child was seriously injured in the accident. It happened in the 100 block of Chapel Drive. Now that's at the Boardwalk Village apartment complex. It's run by Student Housing Solutions and it's under renovations right now. We don't know many details about what happened, but we can tell you the child was with an adult at the time and is now recovering in the hospital. In your local consumer news, two major companies are merging. Dollar Tree is buying Family Dollar for $8.5 billion. The boards of both companies have approved the deal, which is expected to close by early next year. Stockholders of Family Dollar and stores will get about $57 in cash. That's the equivalent of almost $15 in shares of Dollar Tree for each share that they own. Looking across Florida now, a tragic day at the beach for a father and daughter in Sarasota yesterday when an airplane crash landed on the way to make an emergency landing. The victims of the plane crash in Sarasota have now been identified. 36-year-old Tommy Arazi from Georgia was killed when a plane crash landed, striking him and his 9-year-old daughter, Oceana. Sarasota County deputies say the pilot was attempting to land on Casperson Beach when it crash landed. The plane struck the father and daughter. The dad died at the scene, and the young girl was airlifted to All Children's Hospital. She is now in critical condition. The pilot and his passenger were not injured. The National Transportation Safety Board and FAA are now investigating. Well, if you haven't registered to vote in the August primary in Florida, you better do so fast. Floridians have until the end of today to register for next month's elections. You can fill out registration forms in person at any county elections offices, driver's license offices, or military recruitment centers. You can also mail in your application to county election supervisor, but it must be postmarked July 28th. Florida's primary is set for August the 26th. All right, time now to check in with Max Paris in our weather center. A busy day and a hot day for us out there weather-wise.
Yeah, it's already getting very, very steamy. We were just talking about the numbers before the show, Kelly, and you know it is already very, very hot out there, and it's only lunchtime. Things are going to get hotter in the next several hours. We'll start things off with a live look off our Napleton Tower cam. Looking southbound out the DoubleTree Hotel, a lot of those cumulus clouds, those big puffy ones that if you use your imagination can turn into some animals or whatnot, are already starting to boil up, and that's, again, because of the fact that it's so hot out there. You're starting to get some of the clouds already starting to boil up. Just below 90 degrees in the capital cities, winds coming out of the west at 9 miles per hour. If they're coming off the Gulf, it would bring in humid and hot, humid but milder air. However, since it's coming out of the west, it's a land breeze, and that's a lot hotter since the ground heats up a lot faster than the water out there. We are starting to see a couple showers and storms boil up, but nothing too impressive at this hour. The most activity that I can find is out towards the east into the Suwannee River Valley and into Columbia County. So yeah, a little bit of rain and showers out there. We'll continue to see more rain as a cold front digs into the deep south. So we'll call for about a 40% chance of rain heading into the afternoon and evening hours. But into the evening and when you're getting ready for bedtime tonight, looks like we could have a mixed bag of active weather, maybe even some high wind gusts embedded in that. And I'll time all that out for you coming up in your full storm team forecast. And of course, as we do each and every day, we'll check in on the tropics where there is something brewing off the coast of Africa. We'll have that and more in just a few minutes. Kelly?
All right, thanks, Max. Talking about some fun news now. We're counting down. The clock is ticking, leading us closer and closer to getting a more in-depth look at the wedding of our very own Dave Griffiths and Christina Resnack. It's all about prepping for the big day, the big series, and all month long, Dave and Christina have given us sneak peeks into everything it took to get their wedding in order. Well, coming up this Friday, August 1st, it's their time to shine. So be sure to tune in at 6:30 for a very special Prepping for the Big Day WTXL original programming only on WTXL.TV. Well, as the news at noon continues, it seems the Queen of Soul not feeling service when she visited a restaurant over the weekend. We've got that story. Plus, the saying might be true when they say trouble always catches up to you. Why one man will now have to try and dodge jail time after trying to wiggle his way out of a ticket. And don't forget, it is our last and final road trip this week. We're headed to Havana, showcasing all the people and places that make the town so special, all leading up to our day of live broadcasts on Friday, starting at 5 a.m. for sunrise. I'll be live at the Tomato Cafe. Then right here for the news at noon, join me at Joni's Gourmet Restaurant from 5 until 6:30. You can join our evening crew. Paulo, Jay, Dave, and Kat's going to be live in downtown Havana, right across the street from the Tomato Cafe. Be sure to join us. We've got all the websites online at WTXL.TV. We'll be right back. Again, we want to let you know there's a gas leak that's just occurred on West Adair Street between Toombs and Oak Street. That leak began just around 11 a.m. This is all according to the Valdosta Daily Times. Now, as of 11:30, firefighters were on the scene and evacuating that area. Residents of the Adair West apartment complex also being evacuated, and the entire block was blocked off as of 11:30. The leak is believed to have been caused by a construction crew digging in the area and hitting a 2-inch gas line. A Times reporter on the scene is saying that gas was visible from the leak and the area was blanketed with the smell of gas. We'll, of course, continue to let you know as this story continues to develop.